Yo, welcome to another episode of the BJJ GOONS podcast. I'm your host, Tim the Mushmaster Spriggs, and with me as always every week is...
Yo, what's up, everybody? It's Nico Ball, no new Nico. Welcome to the best BJJ podcast ever.
Best there is, best there was, best there ever will be. As you can see on YouTube, and if you can't see, I'm going to tell you right now that we have a guest. Her name is Vannessa Griffin. She is Team Lloyd Irvin's newest black belt superstar, already kicking ass, and she just got her black belt recently. But first, we're going to do a little bit of news. If you haven't noticed, it is Black History Month. Although it is the shortest month of the year, it is the most important. Nico has a little trivia game for us later on, but Flow Grappling interviewed me. It's on their IGTV. They hit me up. Highwell, shout out to him. He hit me up and was like, hey, talk a little bit about diversity and representation in jiu-jitsu. I talked a lot about how when I first started, there wasn't a lot of black faces. There wasn't a lot of African-American black belts that I knew of at a high level at first. But, you know, I talked about seeing Jacare, Tedede, all those good guys. I talked about how Master Lloyd was a huge influence in me, and it was great. It was great to be able to talk about that kind of stuff. And I also mentioned how within the last year, I got to meet a lot of different African-Americans throughout the diaspora that do grappling arts, that do MMA, Muay Thai kickboxing, all that. It was just very refreshing. I had a great time doing it. I did not read the comments because I don't read comments, but
All right,
I thought it
no.
was great.
I wanted to ask y'all about that because y'all was talking about the comments before. Like, was there something going on in the comments? Did somebody say something? Did you hear something?
I mean, it was just that regular, anytime you bring up any type of thing revolving race, people get upset and don't want to hear about it. So then they just make some excuse, but it was just foolishness. I just commented that everyone in there needed therapy, and that seemed to be a pretty neutral, appreciated comment.
Oh God, I don't know if I want to get in on that because like I was already on our teammates' post. I don't even want to mention her name. But oh God, like I don't know how people stay out with these Facebook comments and like dragging people through Facebook comments or how they even find them.
It's like way too time consuming. I said this once and I said it again. If social media was not necessary for the things I do in my life, I'd steer clear of it. But now it's just ubiquitous with everything we do.
No, I don't get it. I just played the video. I found the link of the video of you. I listened to the video. I watched half of it. Then I had to get in the car. So I was just like listening to it and then disengaged from all the drama. But that was really dope. It was cool to see you out there.
Yeah, it's good to be seen. Make sure you guys go to Flow Grappling's Instagram feed. It's on their IGTV. I think the new thing now is that you should save the post so it gives more engagement and it spreads more. Something about the algorithm. I don't know. I'm not a social media guy. I don't know the algorithm, but apparently the rumor has it if you save it, do whatever you can. Like it, send a positive comment, put a black fist emoji up there if you want to. Yeah, do your thing. Also in the news, Jamil is back in action. I just saw that he is supposed to be in the Evolve Your Game Grand Prix. It's an 8-man tournament in Las Vegas for $10,000.
Evolve Your Man. Have they had it? Is this their first event?
It's the first time I heard of them. They gave me a message. They're like, hey, would you be interested in doing the open weight? I was like, yeah, when is it? And it's supposed to be the same date as this one, April 3rd. That's when Jamil's fighting. And they pushed the other one back to May. So I plan on doing that one because I love money almost as much as I love fighting. Actually, probably more because I wouldn't be doing this if I wasn't getting paid. But yeah, Jamil is fighting, the founder and creator of the Worm Guard, or whatever he wants to call it. And yeah,
That's gonna be dope. I can't wait for that.
he is Black History, by the way. First gi black belt world champion. Former co-host of the show, DJ Jackson, was the first like black belt world champion in any kind of gi or no gi. He won New Gi World. So go ahead, Nico.
I was gonna say that's dope. We train with like a lot of the dopest people.
Yeah.
But I was looking up from some stuff to play a game, and I was trying to research Black History Month, and I wasn't actually going to do like real research, like looking through the athletes and the stats. Like I was only going to find like an article that already had the research done, and clearly none of that shit is done for jiu-jitsu, right? Because there ain't nobody writing any content like that for jiu-jitsu. But UFC, they got their shit on lock. They got all the millions. So yes, they have come up with like a whole bunch of Black History Month content. So we wanted to do something other than interviewing Vannessa. I mean, I think maybe it was just me. I was bored at work today. So I was like, we're going to play a game. So I found on UFC.com, they came out with like this Black History Month timeline. So I pulled some stats from Tim. You know, Tim loves like MMA anyway. So, you know, we're going to say Vannessa's participating, but really I was just kind of coming at Tim because he's always trying to throw like these other sports at me, like Malice in the Palace. Tim has gone on me this week for my inability to throw a ball, and it was a snowball. I was trying to take a picture. I'm sorry if I'm not athletic, but you know,
Don't let Vannessa off the hook. She has to answer
The
first.
shade.
I'm not letting
She
her
has
off
to
the
answer
hook.
first.
I just want to. I'm just letting you know I'm coming for you because you went on my throwing skills after on my bat swinging skills. Like so, every time we try to do like a photo shoot, and I try to do anything athletic other than jujitsu, I do jujitsu for a reason, y'all. Like
If I could throw a ball
Yeah,
real well, I wouldn't
can-
be doing jiu-jitsu either.
you do though. Like, and
Yeah.
then I looked at your pictures and then I was like, oh, I see. Like you were like going at it, and I'm like, oh, it was pretty bad. Right. So. I went on the website and I found it's a lot of first, some other questions about Black history in UFC. All right, so you ready?
Yep.
I'm gonna pick them randomly. All right. So who was the first? And it says African American, but that's kind of like really long and redundant. So like I've switched all the African Americans that was on UFC.com to Black. So who was the first Black athlete to win the Ultimate Fighter?
Like to win the show?
To win the show.
To win the show. You go first, Griffin. Ladies first. Griffin has to answer first.
Dang, I tried to throw him under the bus and he threw.
I say lady. Are we not all inclusive? I'm trying to be a gentleman. Ladies first.
Is it Rashad Evans?
Do I give her the correct answer? You got to get like if you're gonna.
I'll get
first.
that was my guess too.
All right.
Rashad
Well,
Evans.
she goes first and she gets it right. That is correct. It was Rashad Evans in Tough 2 in 2005.
Damn, I remember that shit.
All
That was
right.
2005.
2005.
Holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, I'm old as fuck. I'm washed. Go ahead, Nico. Next question.
All right. Who was the first female? No, who is the first Black female to compete in the Ultimate Fighter?
Angela, what's her name? Killzone? What's her name? I forgot her name. It's probably not her, but I thought it was her.
Do you got her last name? Or are we going with Killzone? Is that an acceptable answer?
It's something Kill. It's Angela something.
I mean, it rhymes with kill. You know who he's talking about, Vannessa?
Yeah, Angela Hill.
Angela Hill. And that would be the like, I mean, if you have the full, I think we got to give that to Vannessa again because she had the full answer.
Go ahead.
You know, so
are you looking on your phone, Vannessa?
No.
Because I see you looking down.
I've been looking down the whole time.
Oh my God.
You're just mad because you're losing.
I'm not mad because I'm losing. I'm just asking, you know.
I'm not.
All right, so Angela Hill was the first Black female to compete in Tough. Who was the first Black female to compete in the UFC?
Who's supposed to answer this one?
Go ahead, Griffin, since you know everything.
Just so disrespectful.
Everything. Come on, Poindexter. Answer this one.
What does that even mean?
Oh my God. Poindexter? Just answer the question, Griffin. Don't change the subject.
I don't know this one. Why are you looking down?
I'm just thinking. I have the timer up. Holy moly.
We're not timing these. You don't need the timer right now. Like
I don't know. I didn't say Angela Hill again.
Yeah, it is still Hill. Apparently, like Angela Hill is the only
yes.
black female in the UFC, because the only other person they cite as being a black female is Jermaine something, who's Brazilian.
Durandamy?
Yeah, that one. And I was like,
She's Brazilian? I thought she was like French or Dutch.
I mean, like, she's definitely Brazilian. She's black, ? Would be where I was going with that. But whatever, you know, we need some color representation. Clearly, we need more black females in the UFC. All right, next. This person set the record for the most consecutive victories with 16 fights undefeated.
John Jones.
Incorrect.
Fuck.
Anderson Silva.
Anderson Silva, baby.
Oh no!
Come on,
that shit don't count. When he beat up Matt Hamill, that shit don't count. The only reason why they gave Matt Hamill that DQ win because he's deaf. All right, that's not fucking fair. That don't count. Stop the steal.
That's not the 3% attitude that you're putting off right now.
Stop the steal.
16 consecutive victories.
You got a lot of salt on your face right now.
No, it's not a lot of salt.
What's the score? Like 3-0 or 1?
3-1.
You got one. You got one. Only because she didn't want to go with Hill again. All right. Next, who was the first black coach on The Ultimate Fighter?
Rampage.
Rampage is correct. It was definitely Rampage. All right. How many we got? We got 2 more. Another. Going back. What year did Anderson Silva win the middleweight title? And a bonus if you can tell me who he defeated.
Rich Franklin, 2005.
Damn. It's Rich Franklin 2006, but I wouldn't have gotten none of that. Not so any close. Of that.
So close.
All right. And the last.
Huh?
Is it like half a point?
Do I get half a point?
We'll give you a half a point.
Okay. So
yeah.
2.5. 2.5. 2.5 to 3. Come on.
All right. Last one. This is the last question. Okay. On March 19th, 2011, the youngest UFC champ was crowned at the age of 23. He defended his belt 8 times over 4 years. Who was it?
John Jones.
There we go. Oh, a tie. But that's not going to
not a tie.
That was a great
I lost by half a point.
Oh, yeah.
I lost by half a point. It's bogus, but it's okay. It's all good. Congratulations, Griffin. You win.
Thanks.
Okay, well, one more. Like, the only TLI member to leave the dang country other than being paid for by Spider to compete in, like, the last 5 years. I was going to say ever, but Tim called me on this.
Vannessa Griffin.
Yeah.
Damn, you couldn't even get your own trivia. Were you paying attention, Griffin, or were you looking up more answers?
I wasn't looking anything up. You can see my hands. What was the question?
It was like the only TLI team member that travels outside of the country, like barring like those that get flown out for Spider.
Oh, okay. I thought the question was like who got paid to. I was like, not me. Okay,
no. Because like I've been trying to get them.
I'm a C student in college, by the way, so there's that.
You're a C student?
Yes. So I don't listen. I don't pay attention. I didn't pay attention to the question. I just figured I'd throw that out there.
Are you done college though?
No, I still have. This is my last year.
I was gonna say nobody sees your grades, so it's either done or not done with college. It's not like A, B, C.
My GPAs are like 2.8 or something. I don't know.
Yeah. What are you studying?
Media and communication studies.
So you need your own podcast, Griffin. This is where you get the big bucks, right, Nico?
Yeah. I mean, what do you do with media? Like now, before I would have been like, I guess it was like it was like the joke, like major, like. But then it's like everything is kind of like media and communications. But like,
I mean, like, I feel like what I'm learning isn't modern. It seems to be past media. But I just needed something that was easy enough for me to balance school and jiu-jitsu and teaching. So I just picked that. If I didn't need something to be easy, I probably would have done like computer science or math. But I needed something easy, so I just picked that.
That's what's up. That's why I picked sociology, kind of. But also, I was really interested in, and I had no choice. My parents were gonna disown me if I didn't go to college. So I was like, I I better find some shit that I find enjoyable for the next 4 years, and they'll allow me to train. Because math was not it. Pharmacy, definitely not it. Even though I would have been making the big bucks. So today's guest, what you got? Look at Nico. Nico looks at me so disappointed.
I'm like thinking like you caught me with that pharmacy one. I was like, why would you even consider that? That's just like so obscure. I guess they do make a lot of money,
they
but
make a
like
shitload of money. They make a shitload of money. Okay. Well, any major where it's like it's gonna take you at least 6 years to get your undergrad, they pay out the ass. So I was considering, but I'm not that much of a nerd.
I feel like that job's boring too. Like you gotta just want to sit there and I don't know what the job entails, but it seems boring.
Just give out drugs. Oh,
Just
Yo.
put 'em in a bottle and
charge people. Yeah.
how do you learn to pronounce all that shit?
school.
Yeah. You just gotta remember it. It's easy for you. You speak 2 languages, Nico. You pronounce a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, but I can't pronounce like the medicine that I take. Like, have you ever like tried like full medicine names like Oxycontin? Only the ones that are like pushed on the street, Oxycontin, but Oxycontin is still the short form. Like they get
I took the heaviest thing I took was like hydrocodone after I had my my wisdom teeth surgery, but other than that, I haven't really even had to take anything wild.
Yeah, no.
I Dilaudid in a hospital when I almost died, but had the chills afterwards. I'm like, this isn't very fun. I don't know why people take these pills, but I digress.
They take them so they don't feel the chills.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah. I toughed it out. So today's guest is Vannessa Griffin. Vannessa Griffin, like I said, is one of the leaders of the new school of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. She just got her black belt from Master Julius Park and Master Lloyd Irvin. She is a 2-time world champion. She won world titles at blue belt in 2015, purple belt in 2017. She won a no-gi world title at brown belt. She's won a Pan Am champion at blue and purple. She is a European champion at brown belt, and she is a fight to win welterweight champion. And I believe you just recently medaled at Pans, correct?
I took third.
You took third, yes. So Vannessa Griffin is a beast on the mat, as you heard. She's trying to get her education. She's more than just an athlete, and she runs a highly successful kids competition team at Crazy 88. I mean, it's a huge team. They're doing big numbers. I mean, the kids are great. They have, how many kids Pan Am titles have your kids won, Vannessa?
From my era, there's 9 titles with 7 different kids since I think the first year that they medaled was 2019. So 2019 we had 4, and then 2019 we had 4 titles. 2020 we had 5, but 2 of them are repeats. So I have 7 different Pan champions, 9 titles total.
Yeah, 9 titles between 7 kids.
That's dope. Wow.
Yeah.
So like, are you just in charge of the competition team, or do you do like the kids program, or is that separate?
No, I run the whole program. So I design and I'm in charge of like all the other classes. So we have like Tiny Ninjas. We have 3 different branches of intro and then AP. So I run the class plans and all that for every single class and program that we have. But I primarily do focus on the comp team and the advanced kids, but I'll still hop into fundamentals every once in a while. I like teaching. I can teach all the different classes here.
Oh, so do you like staff all the other people that like, and like schedule people that teach the other kids classes?
Yeah, we have, right now we're back to our old schedule. So we're running 2 kids classes at a time. So I usually have 4 coaches on the mat plus some assistants, and I kind of delegate where they want to go. Sometimes I'll go into intro. Most of the time I just teach AP, and then at 6 I teach that competition team class every day.
Wow, that's really dope, because I've known you for so long, but like I only ever really see you like at like some competition trainings or at tournaments. So like I kind of know you as like a competitor, and like I never really knew exactly how much you did at Crazy 88. That's really dope. That's awesome.
So exactly like how many kids are in the program now? How many kids are you in charge of?
Oh, we at one point I think we had like 120. We dropped back down significantly with COVID, but we've actually had like a lot of signups. I don't have my card count right now, but I would imagine it's back up above like a little bit above 100. I would estimate it's between 105 and 110 right now, with kids still coming in. But then generally in the classes, we'll get, I think every class now pretty much hits double digits. From the 3 to 5 year old class is usually like at least 8 to 10. The little ninjas is usually about 3 or 4 more than the tinies was, and then our AP classes are hitting anywhere between 10 to 20.
So what are some of the other responsibilities that you have as a coach and organizer? I mean, it has to be a lot involved when you have that amount of kids and you're trying to take them across the globe. I mean, you've taken these kids across the country. I've seen it, California, Las Vegas, all over the East Coast.
So my overarching all my tasks are pretty much, so I run the kids program, so I'm in charge of keeping track of promotions, executing the promotions, even for like the phase belts and the intro kids, to the solid belts. I organize any tournaments that we do, so I assemble the team and I take them there. Sometimes I drive them, sometimes I don't. Sometimes the kids that go to California, sometimes I'll take them just by myself. Last year I had 2 kids. The year before I had 1. Actually, no, I've had 2 kids. I took 2 kids with me both years. I run the summer camp, so I organize that and do all like the marketing and most of the selling for that. We didn't have one last year. We didn't have a real one last year, but when we do, I run the summer camp with the help from Julius. I make sure the kids' classes are running well. I have to train all the instructors. I have to balance, being able to make sure that like the Tiny Ninja class is running well while the AP class is running well. So a lot of the times I will just kind of float and I'll supervise if I have enough coaches on the mat. If not, I'm in there for like 2 hours a day running the kids' classes. And then I think I also do about like 5 hours of private lessons a week total, 5 at the most, maybe like 5.5 hours. And then any events that we run, like sleepovers, movie nights, stuff like that, I organize it, I advertise for it, I make all my own posters and marketing stuff for those, and then I run them. And then I've also done like the in-houses that we have here. I ran those. I think I've run 3 now. So I run 3 in-houses. Oh my God. So that's pretty much my day-to-day tasks. And then all of that stuff I have on my computer, like what I know how to do and what I do is all in the computer, like in documents. And I have a whole master sheet of like everything that I know how to do, just in case, someone needed that information or had to take it over.
Wow.
Wow, yeah.
It's intense. It's intense.
That was a lot. Like, because I remember seeing like Malachi up at the barbecue, because I've only been training at TLI for like maybe about 3 years. And Crazy 88, for those of you that don't know, is a TLI affiliate, but it's closer to Tim's house, which is closer to Baltimore than DC. And I saw Malachi up there at like some kind of barbecue, and I was like, ain't nobody told me y'all was going up there. Like, what are y'all doing? They had like bouncy houses and stuff out at I was like, how is y'all? Nobody told me that we're going up there. I didn't have a car at this time too, so I was gonna have to roll with them, but I was pretty pissed, like, because it looked like a lot of fun.
Yeah, luckily I don't have to organize the picnic. That's we do our yearly picnic usually in the fall. We couldn't do one this year, but that one I don't have to organize because that's a bigger gym type thing. But we also have other locations. So we have a location in Owens Mills that's been open for I don't know how many years. And then we're about to take over a location in Severna Park. And so now my future responsibilities is going to be like managing and making sure that all of those locations are set to. So they have a lot of my content. They have my curriculums. They literally have binders of information of like everything that they need to do. So that's now like the position that I'm kind of moving into is monitoring and supervising all the kids programs from the locations.
So if like Julius was like Master Lloyd, then you're like the Master Donnie of Crazy 88.
Pretty much, yeah.
Shit, I never knew that. Wow, the things you learn on this podcast.
Yeah. What does a typical kids comp team class look like at Crazy 88? How do you structure it? And we're talking about the little killers.
Yeah, so we have our during the week classes are 6 to 7, and then we have our Saturday 10 to 11:30, which we had today. Generally with the comp team kids, so our comp team kids at 6 o'clock, we have juniors, teens, and then all of AP and comp team all on the mats at once. We'll run a warm up together. So usually we do like a 10-minute warm up with movements, and then we'll play like a really short game, something dumb like musical dots or like like dodgeball or something like that, or tic-tac-toe. They like playing that. We'll do that for about 15 minutes. Then we split. So I take all the upper belts, and we have our group, and then there's the fundamentals kids on the other side. And then I have my curriculum base. So we do about 1 to 2 techniques each week. And every week we might go back and review the technique from before. So we'll focus on the technique for the week. We'll drill for, depending on the day, like if it's Monday, we'll do a lot of drilling because it's the first time they've seen it. If it's like Thursday, we might just do some quick. I won't even show the move. I'll just tell them to grab a partner and do the techniques that we've been working. Most of them come every day, so I usually don't have to show it all the time. And a lot of the times we're doing review. So we'll do that probably until 6:40 at the latest. Then we start sparring. We'll sometimes do positional sparring like King of the Hill, or I'll break them into separate groups. So this week I had groups of 3 or 4, and they would all rotate and fight each other in the close guard. It was like quick 1-minute rounds just to get them working the close guard, because that's been our theme for the past couple of weeks is close guard. And each week we do like a new set of moves from the close guard. Depending on the day and how good of a mood I'm in, sometimes we'll stop and play a game, but a lot of times we'll just do, we'll start with positional sparring, and then we'll just do rounds to submission. And like I said, if I'm in a good mood and they didn't make me mad, I'll let them play a game. But generally I don't. I just kind of make them do sparring for at least 20 minutes. Saturday's kind of the same. Everything's just extended. So we'll start with the warm up. I let them have some fun. Then today we did a lot of guard retention. We did guard retention for like 40 minutes. I think I broke up like 6 different movements. And then they did like their close guard sparring with their groups. And then we just did some regular rounds. I usually make them go to submission. Sometimes I'll make the kids go for 10, 15 minutes. So there's a submission. Sometimes I'll stop them early and I just keep rotating the partners out. So the class is similar to an adult class, except it's, it tries to appeal to the kids more. We'll sprinkle in some games or some drills and stuff in there so that they're not as bored.
So when you say like you only do 1 or 2 techniques a week, right? You said that?
Yeah.
Do you mean like TLI style, like adults do it? Like you're literally drilling one thing for however long you drill that class period, whether it be 45 minutes to an hour, or like because they're younger, do you have to like vary it up in some kind of way?
No, it'll be like that. So like our drilling block is usually from, I'll say about 6:15 to either 6:35 or 6:40. And usually I try to do at least 2. And within the techniques, there's different parts. So for example, this week we did 2-on-1 drag to the gift wrap. From the gift wrap, you have your pendulum sweep, your triangle, and your arm bar. So they're drilling those 3 movements for 10 to 12 minutes. And then we went on to our cross strokes, and we do 3 different types of cross strokes. So realistically, they are doing like 6 different techniques, but they're all the same. And they already know how to do arm bars and triangles. So a lot of the times with stuff like that, I can combine like 3 different moves together and call it one. So like the gift wrap, you have your pendulum sweep, your triangle, your arm bar. They can drill that in a system so that they have it, but I consider that one. And then our second part is the cross strokes, but there's 3 different cross strokes, but they're kind of doing the same thing. So they get a lot of variation, and I always add details and vary up the details. It just depends on what it is. So like in our triangle, the kids have 6 different finishes from the triangle. So if there's anything that we do involving a triangle, I either say do all 6 of your finishes, then switch, or just cycle through them. So do 1 finish, then your partner does 1 finish, then you cycle through them. So they're never just drilling like one thing for 10 minutes unless it's absolutely necessary. Usually there's some details in it, or there's different variations.
That's a lot of disguised repetition. That's excellent.
Yeah.
I think it's hard for people to incorporate that in the class. Like I know most adults, like I've never trained anywhere where they train at TLI where they'll stick to drilling something so consistently. And it definitely helps like being able to retain it in the muscle memory and just doing it naturally. But like a lot of times, like people drill stuff like so quickly, like you never even get a chance to do it. And I find like that method of like really going into detail, you don't see that often, especially with kids, because they're like wild savages, like they're running around everywhere. Like I don't know how people like teach kids. I give you guys a lot of respect.
So Griffin, tell us a little bit about how you became the kids instructor at Crazy 88.
Were you the first?
No, I wasn't. There was like 2 before me. I was like number 3.
You were a kids instructor too?
Yeah, a lot of the kids Griffin teaches now started with me.
Oh, but you didn't have it as organized as her, right? You know, girls. I just
No,
assumed that was the
it
female
take.
touch.
Listen, I did it. I put it in a better place than when I found it. Let's just put it like that.
Hey, that's all we can do, you know.
That's all we can do. Just pass it on, let it flourish.
So I started here in 2011. I was 13. I think like a year or so in, Miss Kathy literally just walked up to me and was like, "Hey, go help that kids class." I did that for a little while. I was just helping probably like little ninjas or something. I was just the assistant. But I was, as a volunteer, you just get consistent exposure to the class and you're getting trained without realizing it because you're just watching how the class runs. So I would pay attention, and I naturally liked kids. So I was always good with kids. I could communicate with them. And I mean, I was a kid myself. I was like 14 when I started helping. Probably like a year later, Master Julius told me that I could be a little bit more involved. So I got involved with like summer camp and volunteering with the kids. And then later down the line, I think in 2013, I got hired and I was working with you. We were running it starting in 2013. We were just running AP. And I think Keith Sabula was running intro, maybe Ongla or someone. Somebody was running intro. Like I think it was like Pete, Ongla, Keith, and John all in rotation, right? And me and you were running AP. We used to call it Black Belt Club back then, but we switched the name. So we were running it. And then probably around like 2016, you had gotten a job, didn't you?
Yeah, I got a job.
Yes, you had a job, but I was always there because I mean I was still a kid. I was still in high school, so I didn't have to go get a job or do anything. So I remember you texting me. You were like, "I'm gonna need you to start taking over some of the processes because you were in the process of either getting a job or you were hired and you were gonna leave." So then I started, running the warm-ups, running the classes, and I was at that point it was a lot of trial and error. Like the structure that I have now, I think is the best that I've designed it to be, just because I've seen what works and what doesn't over, years of just being around the kids. So then we went to Pans within like 6 months. They didn't do super great. So then I came back and I was like, all right, we need to put in the work. And I wasn't in charge of intro yet. I was in charge of the advanced placement. So what I did was I was going to add in small things that like I knew I was good at. I was still a purple belt. I think I started working with you as a blue belt, and then I got my purple belt, and that's around when I took it over. We changed the belt system, we changed the name of things, and then I just started adding in like really small things, like the things that they didn't know how to do, like a back step, blocking the hip. That helped their passing tremendously. I broke down the knee cut in the bullfight system. We started doing a little bit of takedowns, and I really focused on like submission awareness and submission efficiency. So we started adding in arm bars from everywhere, arm bars from side control, arm bars from mount, arm bars from closed guard, Kimuras from mount, from side control, from closed guard. And it kind of just like, it built it up to where I started to realize like when you teach kids, there's things that you teach them that they should be able to execute, like a triangle or arm bar. And there's things you teach them that they might not be able to execute, like a berimbolo or a lasso, but they should be exposed to what it is and how to move, because then they can translate that to other things. So it was really just a lot of trial and error about figuring out what to teach kids and why I was teaching it. So then that next year we went to Pans, we finally got some medals. And then I think around then I started taking over the entire kids program, and Keith came to work with me in AP. And then I saw kind of like a decline with the intro program. So then it was like, all right, now I have to kind of sit down, systematize everything, figure out how to make intro work, how to make AP work all at the same time while still building up the comp team. And then things just got more complicated from there. Like the curriculums for AP are way more complicated than they used to be. The curriculum for intro is like carefully designed. So all of it was just kind of like a slow snowball from just being a volunteer to now just running the kids program here completely on my own, and then starting to kind of oversee and help with the other locations.
Wow. So what belt were you when you like took over the program?
When I officially took over, I think I had already got my purple belt. I started working with Tim in 2013 as a blue belt, won Worlds in 2015, purple belt in 2015. And then I took over, I think the summer of 2016 was that official transition to where Timmy left for work and I was in place for the AP, and then officially taking over the entire program. I honestly don't remember. I think I always kind of worked closely with it, but I don't think that the intro instructor, I think Keith finally gave me control probably like 2018, I want to say. So then I've been running it for three years now.
Wow, that's impressive. That's really dope. And I asked that because I know a lot of people that they contact me about wanting to either teach or do social work because they know that I'm involved with social projects, and they're all like, "Oh, I'm waiting till I get my black belt, or I'm waiting to get this belt." And like I always refer back to Terere because Terere started teaching when he was a blue belt, and I was like, I mean, you don't necessarily have to be like you know, the highest level to like kind of give back or you know, start working in some kind of way. So to really inspire people to like, you know, help out at the gyms and do stuff, because that's a huge program, because y'all like roll deep, like because when we talk about kids program, and she kind of just like ran over it, like sleepovers. I don't know any gym that has sleepovers or really like like they're talking
Timmy, you
about
remember
all.
running that first one?
I mean, Nico, I'm gonna tell you something. Like,
Can we also just note that she calls Tim Timmy, and that's just so cute.
only a few people are allowed to call me Timmy.
I know.
By the way,
I wouldn't even try.
Are you
Listen,
gonna tell them what happened?
I mean,
the
there's so many
sleepover?
crazy. I mean, there's so many crazy stories about sleepovers. But one they got me was, you know how they have like urinal pads or urinal cakes. Right?
Why?
All right. So one sleepover, I think it was one of the last ones I did before I got a job, like a job.
It was the first.
And I think
one.
Vannessa Griffin. I think it was Vannessa. This is like Vannessa still has a video. So I'm playing dodgeball with the kids, right? And for some reason, I know for sure a kid had taken out the urinal cup and threw it on the floor. And Vannessa wasn't like outside of the men's locker room, right? On the floor.
No, it was in the locker room, but Damien went and saw it. And then I have a video. Damien is screaming. I'm laughing. You're pissed with gloves on, and the kids are all lined up against the wall because we were like, "Who did this?"
All the boys are disgusting.
We had
Side
UV
note,
lights.
yes.
We're gonna see who did it, and we're gonna show your hands. I don't remember if we found out who did it.
Griffin,
or not,
I forgot that part. So boys are disgusting. Young men are disgusting, like for no fucking reason. So what happened was they took and I know they barehanded the shit. That's disgusting. And it was on the floor. It wasn't just by the urinal. It was like out, like in the walkway between the sink and where they change clothes. And Damien runs out. He runs out of the locker room screaming, but like, ah! And I'm like, what the hell are you doing? And Damien's like a teenage helper, because this is an overnight sleepover. Like they're there all night, and we got to stay up all night to make sure none of these kids go missing or get kidnapped. So he tells me, "Oh, there's something in the locker room," and I like go in there, and there's the urinal pad on the floor, and I'm like, "This is fucking disgusting. I can't." And I think that's one of the times it's like I can't do this anymore. This is when Griffin had the job for sure.
I think you didn't. I'm pretty sure you didn't run the next sleepover. I think you did the first two, and then by the third one you were out.
I'm out. So I lined all the boys up.
Video with you later, Nico. That video is. I'm gonna put it.
You gotta put it on. We gotta put it on the Instagram.
Oh yeah, no, we gotta drop that video. Oh, I have to. That is hilarious.
So I line up all the boys on the wall, and I'm like,
no, it was all the kids.
All the kids.
Yep.
All the kids. I was like, all right, listen.
And you have gloves on.
I had gloves on talking. I'm like, somebody took a urinal pad.
Who did this? Yeah. And then you just literally middle of your sentence, you quit and just walked in the locker room. While me and Damien are screaming. Oh my God, that was so funny.
And I'm like, I have UV light in my car, and I'm gonna bring it out, and I'm gonna know who did it. And did we ever find out who did it?
I don't think so.
No, those kids stuck to their story.
I feel like we did, but I really don't remember.
I think we did, but we never told anybody because it would have killed the kids'
because it was like
for life.
10 p.m. and we were up again for another like 8 or 10 hours. I think I forgot about it by that morning.
Yeah, it was over. But yeah. Sleepovers, Nico. I forgot where we were at with the sleepovers, but I just flashbacks.
I think on the next one I made them go to sleep because these were like girls that went in the bathroom and were like trying to summon the devil, and then like they freaked out and started screaming, and I was like, nope, 2 a.m. go to bed, and everyone had to go to bed, and it was over.
When I say like teaching kids ain't easy, like this is what I mean. Like we're not like 3 a.m. trying to summon the demon child. Where is your parents? Like, oh my God.
I got every single sleepover, like something happens, not like necessarily bad, but there's always something that I have a video of that was just ridiculous.
So,
Absolutely.
so when parents say, "Can you teach my kids discipline?" I'd be like, "No, charity starts at home. No, I can't teach them nothing but
Oh
jujitsu."
man.
Oh
That's what I tell
god.
people. I was like, don't get it twisted the way that I curse and like just be confused. Like I don't instruct the kids at Today Kids Project. I just pay.
The craziest part about those sleepovers is like I think I've probably run like 6 now, at least 6. And I think half of them was right before one of those like Sunday pro practices. And I wouldn't tell anybody. I would just, and then I'm sure they knew, but I would be up until like 6 a.m., maybe go to sleep for an hour or maybe not. And then I would go to practice the next day. Those were some wild times. That would be like that hour and a half full sparring practice where I'm barely conscious, but I'm there.
The sacrifices, man. The sacrifices.
Yep.
How is it like balancing though? I mean, what is like a typical training session like for you, and how do you balance that with running the kids program?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a lot because I also have school, and this semester I have an internship. The internship is like 8 hours, and then I have 3 other classes. So, I mean, it's a lot. Like everyone knows that I just drink coffee all the time. But I do like, for me, recently I've definitely been more hydrated and trying to eat healthy. That's made a difference. But the training schedule is definitely random. Every single one of my training days is different. Like Monday, I just lift, and then I go home after the kids' classes. Tuesdays, I do morning MMA no gi for like an hour because I have class. So I like close class and then I run in there a little bit late. And then that night I'll do the gi session, which isn't as intense. So I'll do 2 sessions on Tuesday, 2 sessions on Thursday. I'll do no gi and gi. On Wednesdays, it depends how I feel, but I lift Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So at least Wednesday I'll lift, do my internship for like 4 hours. And then if I feel good, I'll train. But sometimes I won't. Because like on Wednesdays I do privates, Tuesdays and Thursdays I do privates right after the kids' classes. Friday I don't train at night. I just lift in the morning, and I don't have any private lessons. So I lift in the morning, we have a meeting, and then I teach the kids for like 2 hours, and then I'm done. And then Saturdays I get up, we teach from 10 to 11:30, and then we're right into comp team class from 11:30 to 1. And then Sundays I usually have off. Like we sometimes do some sessions with Jamil at the Banks house. And then I do private lessons in the morning, but like every day is different. So for me, it's just, about every 6 months, Julius has to kind of pull me into the office and we have a talk about me doing too much, but I usually can't really help it. Because like right now I have, like I said, I have school full time. I have an internship. I have to work here. I have to try to get my hours in here, and I teach every day, 5+ hours of private lessons while still trying to get in like close to 12 hours of training.
Yeah, so for all you growth people with aspirations to train or be fighters, it sounds like Vannessa needs a personal assistant, and it would be a good pitch, pitching to her, personal assistant. Maybe she'll hook you up with some free training sessions,
Maybe.
We're going to drop her
You
Instagram.
need an intern. You need an intern, Griffin.
So one question as an educator that I have for you, though, so if you clearly have like a job, and not just a job, but like you're running a program or almost running a business, and this is like something that lends to a career, then why the hell are you even in college studying communications?
I mean, I always like having that to fall back on because I mean, you just never know. Like obviously I want to teach all the time, and if I could be salaried here, I mean, that would be ideal. But well, I also like, before I realized that I really want to do this full time, I was already like over halfway done. So I was like, what's the point of, all this college debt with no degree? I might as well just get a degree, have one. And then it's always just something to fall back on. Obviously I'd like to be in jiu-jitsu forever, but if I'm not, and for some wild reason I can't do it anymore, at least I have a degree, I can get a job and do what I got to do. I mean, that's pretty much it. Plus I have like a year left. So there's literally no positive reason for me to just end up stopping. I just finish the year and then I can be done with it. And then that's one whole chunk of my life that can be over with. And then, everything will be a lot easier.
That's dope.
It's interesting. It's like, because like what you say, it's like kind of like, it's messed up in one sense. It's very true. Like you do just need a degree. Does it always matter what it's in? 90% of the time, no. You just need to have a degree, like to be able to qualify for the job. And so like I always like like to see that, especially with like Brazilian athletes will drop out of college or even high school really quick to be a professional athlete and never think of getting a career. And a lot of people, I think, like Malachi's, you know, like it's kind of very hard. Like I never, as an educator, would recommend somebody go to college without knowing what they're going to spend their money on, because you're going to be in debt. And why? Like you, yeah, like you say, like I can get a job and I can like leverage this in some way, but a lot of people don't know how to leverage it. But like a skill like running a business, like what you do, is also very, very hard to learn. And a lot of people pay a lot of money to study business, but don't learn the kind of things that you're learning now running this program here.
Yeah. I mean, I also look at like some of the bigger influences in my life, and they all got something from college, and they all benefited from it in some way. You know, like I said, I'd obviously love to be a full-time kids coach, but if that's not in the cards, or if that's not, you know, enough money, I have a degree where I can go work a part-time job or something, you know, remote or whatever I needed. I just like having that security, you know, knowing that I have it. And then I do get some cool stuff from school. Like there's a lot of reading material that's actually really good that I wouldn't have thought to read otherwise, and ideas that I got for the kids program, talking to teachers. And I take like entrepreneurship classes that are actually probably some of the most beneficial classes I've ever taken, because it's a lot of like deeper thinking. It's not like a regular structured class. So, and then you have networking. Like I meet a lot of people through school, a lot of people that can help me. So there's definitely a lot more to it for me than just the degree. But I mean, now that, you know, even just realizing that now, again, I only have a year left. And so at this point, it's kind of like, let's just finish and let's do it. Because I entered college before I really realized that that I was going to be like a really good kids instructor and be a really good athlete. I mean, I knew I was going to be a good athlete, but it was still just kind of like in the cards of something that I wanted to do and just have. Like I said, a lot of people that I look up to have a college degree. So, and a lot of people that, you know, I can see around me, not necessarily struggling, but kind of don't have one. So there's just a lot of like reasons where I definitely don't regret doing it. And UMBC is relatively cheap. So I have debt, but it's not going to be like a ridiculous amount where I'm going to be crippled by it.
Yes, that's awesome. Like I definitely don't want to say like don't go. Do you guys hear that?
Yeah, I heard it when I talked to a little.
Oh, that's weird. But it's like I definitely don't want to say like don't go to college, but I think it's really important to be able to take away like exactly what you said, like that there's more to it from it than that. And like, yeah, you pretty much like eloquently just like finished up like the rest of the questions that we had and just like hit them out. So this has been another episode of the BJJ. No, just kidding. But like you mentioned about like people that you look up to, and we were going to ask about like people in jiu-jitsu, but like just in general, like who are those people that have influenced you and that you look up to?
I mean, the biggest one is Julius. I always say that. You know, there's a lot of things that people say about like right place, right time. So when I was coming up, there wasn't a lot of kids like me that wanted to do jiu-jitsu and that were good at it and wanted to teach. So I, you know, right timing where I got in just in time where, you know, the program was switching hands, and it's like, why not it be me? Because now I have like a crop of teenagers that they're friends, they all, you know, work together. And I definitely wish I would have had that, but then it would just be some more competition. And so, you know, being the only person, it was kind of nice. So I got Julius's attention, and he's helped me a lot, you know, like from helping me get sponsorships to teaching me a lot about running the business. You know, we're always, he taught me the importance of like always moving forward and progressing. And that's probably one of the most important things that I've learned, and why the kids program is just getting better. Because it's like, you know, I don't like that phrase where if it's, you know, it's not broke, don't fix it. We're always here trying to find ways to improve operations, make things better. You know, Julius is now about to have oversight over 3 different locations, where we just had 1 before, eventually we had 2, and now we're gonna have 3, and eventually we want to keep growing. So he's a big influence over me, over my jiu-jitsu, over my career. He even helped, you know, he helped me a lot with school too, like helping me pay for it and stuff like that. So he's definitely been a big influence and a big role model to me. I look up to like Ty. I like modeling my jiu-jitsu over Ty. And every time I hit certain things like leg locks or stuff that he teaches me, I always text him, we have a conversation. And he talks to me almost after every single tournament, whether he was there or not. So he's huge. He's had a big impact on my jiu-jitsu. He used to run my strength and conditioning in like 2015 before I joined Axis and started doing it there.
Yeah,
Keith has had a huge influence.
I don't know Ty well, but like I see him at competitions and he just has really great energy. You can tell he's a good person.
Yeah, he's definitely a great part of the team. He has a lot of energy. Like Julius is energetic and excited about things, but like he's not loud. Ty is like that energetic, excited, loud, where like you can see the excitement and the energy that Ty has for jiu-jitsu. You know, like Keith Sabula, John Del Bruce too. Like Keith Sabula and John Del Bruce were big influences. They were some of my first coaches. John was my very first coach. And he was my coach primarily for probably like 2 or 3 years before I really started training with Julius. And then Keith has always been around. Keith's with me now. Like he helps me make sure I go to strength and conditioning. He's there with me working out. He's always around. Like we talk a lot about the kids program. He's helped me grow and structure the kids program to what it is now. So for me, like looking up to people are pretty much just, for me, just the people around me that I know well and that I interact with. So those are definitely the 4 major: Julius, Ty, Keith, and John. They've had a huge impact on my jiu-jitsu, on how, you know, my life, on how I behave, on how I run the kids program and how I coach. So I would say those 4 like come to mind right away for people that I look up to.
Incredible. Yeah, we gotta get time on the podcast, Nico, for sure.
Yeah.
He's got some stories. Good Lord.
He's another person that calls you Timmy, isn't he?
Yeah, there's like a short list of people that are allowed to call me that without me looking at them sideways. That's like when people call Steph Curry Wardell. It's like, huh? You don't know me like that. What? My last question, though. My last question for you, Griffin, is what are your martial arts goals? I mean, you could say your life goals too, but since this is a combat sports podcast, I guess we'll keep it to martial arts. What are your martial arts goals as a competitor and as a coach?
As a competitor, if it's possible, I would like to reach Hall of Fame. So I would like to get multiple black belt world titles, at least 4. I'd like to continue competing. I want to stay healthy and compete for as long as possible. So I'd like to go and compete as a master and just, you know, continue to compete. A lot of the coaches here had to retire early for some reason. I'd like to not have to do that for any reason. So I'd like to continue, you know, have a good run at adult, Hall of Fame if possible, and then continue to compete as a master. And then as a coach, just pretty much the same, bringing someone up like me, but not just one, a lot, you know, multiple people that are like day one, or at least like that I had early on. Like some kids come to me as yellow belts and orange belts, but really helping the kids that are in my program, whether they come from other places or they're here, keep them here, and then raise them up to do the same thing, like Hall of Fame, not take over the kids program, or even one day maybe take over the kids program and be instructors and have the kind of same impact and roles that I did, but, you know, maybe at other locations. And then I would love to have a black belt world champion, of course, in the far, far future. Right now, my highest belt is an orange belt, so we got a ways to go, but eventually I would like to do that. I don't really think there's a whole lot of like female coaches, like head coaches, are there?
Leticia Ribeiro.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so
we got one.
Adding to that list of like actual female coaches that make an impact in the sport is a good goal that I would like to have. That's far in the future because, like I said, my kids are like 14 and orange belts at the oldest and highest ranked. But I want to be in it for a while and be able to accomplish all those things and still, you know, compete while the kids are competing when they're like 20 and 25 and all that.
I mean, you can do it at 14. 5 years will creep up on you in no time. And like, I gotta say, I'm impressed. Oh,
wait,
what were you guys?
How old are you?
23.
What?
It's fucking nuts, right? I'm telling you, like,
you're only 23. Oh my god!
I forgot that it's
23 in August.
God, it's the whole team babies, like Muhammad. Oh
you beat me. I got my
like,
black belt when I was, how old was I? 24. You beat me by a year.
You're only 23.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, man, that's part of the reason why I want to get you on. I think what's so impressive is that you've shown maturity beyond your years. You know, most people in their 23. I mean, I don't even think the Mendez brothers ran a kids program or had a school at that age, and you're basically about to be in charge of 3, kind of. You're bringing up kids, and I mean, I know it's hard probably being your age and having to deal with parents. So, you know, you're killing it on the mat. You're killing it as a coach. I gotta hand it to you. Very
Thanks.
impressive.
That's hella impressive. That is
Super
damn,
impressive.
and
Damn.
so young. I wish I had my shit that much together when I was that young.
They need to have a documentary on your life. You're not living in a trailer or in an abandoned laundromat. Oh well, damn.
She said she
That's
was.
awkward.
Oh shit. Well, not like. Well, you at least were clean. You didn't have a possum hanging out of the gym, whatever. What I'm trying to say is,
He really hates Daisy Fresh.
I don't hate Daisy Fresh. I just think that stories like Vannessa Griffin's are what make our show special. We try to shed light, put some paint where it ain't. And I just got to commend you, Griffin. You're doing a fantastic job. And where can people find you or support you? Where can we show you some love?
On Instagram, I guess, at Griffin BJJ. I'm always at the gym. That's pretty much. I have a Facebook page. I don't know. I'll be on Instagram and Facebook usually most of the time.
Nice. All right. That's
awesome. Nico, anything else you'd like to add?
Nah, just go follow the BJJ Goons Instagram, because we're actually gonna start posting to it. I swear we are.
Yes. And Griffin, you need to send us video of me having to deal with that
I will.
cake on the floor. Make sure you guys go to favelajujitsu.com for all your Favela Jiu-Jitsu and Mushmaster merch. Make sure you support the cause. It goes to a great cause. Support Black businesses because it's Black History Month. And if you don't buy from the store, you're racist. This has been the BJJ Goons podcast. Thanks again, everybody. Stay safe out there. Peace.